So, where do you start when you're looking for information on a given business? Okay, if you're like me, the first place you're probably going to start is on the internet. If you're also like me, your snap judgment, or perhaps your quickest decision will be to type in a search on Google. And while Google is a fine resource, you can definitely find good answers to the questions that you seek via Google. It can sometimes be a bit disorienting. How do you know what is a good resource versus what's not? How do you know what is true or accurate? Oftentimes, what you get from a Google search happens to be secondary or sometimes tertiary reporting that's not coming from the primary source, your company. Right? And so, what I'm going to show you today is how to find some more primary information or information that's closer to the primary source that's also heralded and verified by other investigators in the space. The first being your company's website. Okay, sometimes going to a company's website can be underappreciated, but I'm going to show you some particular resources that I think are useful to explore. So, without a doubt, you should be interested in a company's About Us page. So, I'm on the Trade Desk. The Trade Desk is the company that we analyzed in our hybrid section of this course. And here you see a bunch of useful information that you could potentially find, research for your purposes, like its About Us page with information about its beginnings or its leadership team. But more importantly, we're interested in what this company tells its investors. So for a publicly traded company like the Trade Desk, they communicate with their investors on a regular basis, usually every quarter, so every 3 months. And the link to the information that they share with their investors is commonly placed at the top of the website in the header or in the bottom at the footer of the website. And this is for any publicly traded company. Typically, this information is easy to find because when it comes to providing information for people who are giving you money, literally, you do not want to hide it. So they place it where it's easy to see. And importantly, when you get to this investor relations page on a given company website, you want to find their news and events because every stockholder presentation is an event to a company. And then you want to find out where they list their presentations. So the slide decks that they show their investors, the people who are purchasing shares of their company and expecting those shares to earn them a return of money, we want to see the information that they're telling them because typically it provides information about what they do, who they are, how much money they've been making, how much profit they've been making, particularly by revenue and costs, all of these different financial pieces of information about the company. So it's founded over 10 years ago, making all this revenue with a bunch of employees, right? What the company is about, okay, how they're end consumers, so how many ads we see as individuals right here, according to the Trade Desk, and even the budget for their decision makers to whom the Trade Desk is marketing towards. Right? As a digital advertising company, they're not necessarily marketing towards the end consumer, the viewer. They're marketing towards people who are buying digital advertisements. And so what do their budgets look like? This is some of the information that you can find on an investor presentation. Okay. So as you search for your company, because you can't use this company for your own assignment or analysis, you'll want to go to their website. Okay, so that's the first resource that I would implore you to search first. The second is our own UofL Library Guide. So you probably are all familiar with the University of Louisville's library resource, but you might not be familiar with the Subjects Guide, which in the College of Business we have our own guides for each course or for many courses in the business school. But important for this course, there's a specific guide for Marketing 441. And in it, there are several different resources that you can start to find verifiable resources, information giving market share, information in sales, information about the end consumer and their preferences, right? This is a survey of the American consumer. Specific markets, so like the sports market and analytics of it are available here. There are academic journals and research that's published about these different industries and markets and consumers. The type of research that I do is listed and housed here. and various other resources. So there's census data that we have access to, consumer expenditure surveys, the Pew Research Center who does a bunch of different surveys, right? A lot of these different resources at your disposal to look and find information that is verifiable and pertinent to your research problem that is less likely to lead you far astray from the 6th page on a Google search, okay? Because by all means, if exhausting these resources doesn't get you the answer that you need, absolutely use others that come to mind, like Google. But I implore you to try these two to get you started, and then use the other kind of fringe resources to fill in the gaps. Okay? Have fun.